You don't realize it yet, but she's been testing you from the moment you entered her world. Every glance, every subtle shift in her tone, every hesitation carries a hidden signal, a truth she will never speak aloud. Most men miss it, misread it, or panic at its meaning. But you're about to see what she's really measuring, and why it changes everything about how she sees you. The secret isn't manipulation. It isn't a trick. It's a pattern, a quiet law of attraction that she instinctively obeys, whether she admits it or not. And the men who understand it don't chase, don't plead, and never need to explain themselves. They simply exist in a way that commands respect, curiosity, and desire. If you've ever wondered why some men seem to effortlessly capture attention while others fade into background noise, pay attention, because what you're about to uncover will shift the way you move through every interaction, every glance, every moment where presence matters. Before we dive deeper, consider giving this video a like, subscribing, or leaving a comment. If this message reaches the right men, it changes more than just one life. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll discover the hidden principle that women instinctively respond to, yet almost no man ever truly understands. You step into the room and everything shifts. The air bends differently around you, though you do nothing to command it. The sound of her laughter carries across the space, a signal she doesn't know she's sending. Most men would lean in, speak louder, attempt charm. Not you. You let her words hang in the air, your calm presence creating the tension she feels but cannot name. In this subtle pause, you become visible, not because you forced attention, but because you embody control over yourself, a rarity she instinctively senses. She tilts her head, curious. Your silence is not emptiness, it is depth. In it, she reads confidence, restraint, and a quiet awareness that you notice far more than you reveal. Moments like this are never accidental. They are the rhythm of presence, and every man who misinterprets them will unknowingly undermine himself. They will try to fill the silence, over-explain, or act to reclaim attention that never needed claiming. But for you, the pause is a tool, the space between words a measure of influence. She is drawn not to action but to your mastery over inaction. You remember a night not long ago. A woman, graceful in her posture, sharp in her observation, had watched you from across a crowded room. Others tried to impress her with stories and laughter. You said nothing beyond what was necessary. You moved with deliberate economy, each gesture measured, each glance steady. And slowly, imperceptibly at first, her curiosity shifted, her attention no longer fleeting but fixed. Not because you spoke louder, but because you contained more. This is the principle most men fail to grasp. Attraction is not sparked by words or effort. It is evoked by perception. The perception of a man who is unshakable, whose presence itself signals value. She senses it through subtle cues, the way you stand, the pace of your speech, the calm in your gaze. These are signals encoded in her instincts, and only a few men ever move with enough awareness to send them consciously. You have walked paths where desire and judgment meet. You have seen how fleeting attention can become fascination, and how fascination can collapse when a man relinquishes control over his emotional gravity. She may smile, she may laugh, she may offer gestures of warmth, but these are not proof of conquest. They are opportunities, tests of presence and composure. And every composed man knows that yielding to the temptation to overreach diminishes value in the eyes of the observer. Time stretches here, elastic in the tension you cultivate. In these moments, she is not aware of what draws her, but her instinct registers it fully. A man who understands this moves quietly through life, his influence imperceptible yet undeniable. Like the Stoics of old, he embodies control not for show, but because mastery of self is the only path to genuine authority. And in this quiet dominion, she begins to see a truth she cannot articulate. Some men exist on a level beyond her usual perception, and their presence alone commands both respect and curiosity. The room, the glance, the silence. All orchestrate themselves around you, though you intervene in nothing. She tests, observes, and evaluates without ever realizing that the true test is not for her, but for you. Your composure is both shield and signal. Your restraint is both strategy and instinct. And in the unfolding of this quiet interaction, a pattern emerges, a law written not in words, but in behavior, perception, and the subtle currents of human attention. Buckle up, because what seems simple is only the surface. Below it lies the framework of attraction few men will ever understand, and fewer still will master. Stay with me, and you'll see not just the signals, but the underlying truth they point to. A truth that redefines how women perceive you, how men measure themselves, and how desire itself flows in ways most never notice. The night carries a quiet weight as you move through it, and she notices without knowing why. You don't speak to impress. You speak because precision demands it. Every pause in your speech, every subtle shift in stance, signals something deeper than mere presence. It signals composure, control, a mastery of the invisible forces that govern attention and desire. She watches, instinctively measuring, unaware that her curiosity is not about you, but about how you respond to her observation. A flicker of amusement crosses her face, and you remain still, grounded. She cannot reconcile this calm with the chaos she expects, and that dissonance draws her in, even against conscious thought. You've seen it before. The man who reacts, who chases validation, who tries to fill every silence. He becomes predictable, his movements loud and exposed. She loses interest not because she is cruel, but because her instincts detect imbalance. They crave a signal of control, a hint of depth that promises more than fleeting presence. And in these moments, you are the rare exception, moving quietly within the currents of instinct and perception. A memory surfaces. You recall a terrace overlooking the city, lights scattered like stars beneath your feet. She approached, radiant, yet cautious, as if navigating invisible rules she could not articulate. You didn't offer to guide her or fill the space with commentary. You let the world itself shape the moment, your composure framing her movement, your presence shaping her perception. She hesitated, then mirrored your calm. In that hesitation, she revealed more than words could ever convey: uncertainty, evaluation, and the silent pull of instinctual attraction. Notice this. Women are wired to read patterns, to detect consistency and composure. When a man moves with predictable chaos, they recoil. When he moves with deliberate purpose, unshaken by external currents, they are drawn in ways subtle, undeniable, and profoundly instinctive. This is not charm, nor manipulation. It is mastery of self as a vessel through which influence flows naturally, almost imperceptibly. Consider the subtle artistry of withdrawal. Not avoidance, not neglect, but deliberate distance, a space that allows her instincts to engage fully. She senses your absence, measures its weight, and curiosity grows. The void you create is a mirror reflecting her own responses, and in it she glimpses the depth of your presence. The men who fear silence, who fill every gap, never see this. The men who understand it harness it quietly, as though breathing life into a hidden rhythm of attention and desire. In this rhythm, you begin to notice the invisible lines of tension, her glances, the way her body shifts when she senses composure, the micro-expressions that betray curiosity she will never confess. Each of these is a signal, a thread in a tapestry woven by instinct. And you, without effort, without intention, are the loom. She is drawn into the pattern because you have learned to exist without need, to act without compulsion, and to observe without interference. This is where philosophy meets strategy. The Stoics taught that true power is not asserted, but embodied. Marcus Aurelius wrote of the tranquility of self-mastery, of the clarity that arises when a man accepts what he cannot control and commands what he can. Here, in these silent exchanges, you are living that philosophy. You do not control her reactions. You do not dictate desire. You control yourself. And in that control, influence flows, unseen, unspoken, yet irrevocable. Imagine now a courtyard, moonlight filtering through ivy, shadows dancing across stone. She approaches with curiosity, intrigued by the stillness that surrounds you. Most men would break it, offering laughter or gesture to fill perceived emptiness. You do not. Each measured movement, each deliberate breath, is a signal of stability she cannot ignore. Her mind, trained by instinct, begins to track not what you say, but how you exist. Presence, not performance, becomes your language. And yet, the lesson is deeper still. Attraction is not earned in single moments, it accumulates. Every interaction, every subtle display of composure, every silence maintained without panic, builds a narrative she cannot articulate, but instinctively responds to. This is why men who fail to grasp these patterns often wonder why attention fades despite effort. They mistake chaos for energy, noise for magnetism, reaction for mastery. You, however, understand the unseen calculus, the subtle exchange of perception, instinct, and controlled behavior that guides desire without force. Consider the contrast. She may laugh at another man's flamboyance, yet glance toward you repeatedly, drawn by the gravity of your calm. She may respond to gestures elsewhere, yet your measured presence lingers in her subconscious, shaping evaluation even in absence. This is the invisible architecture of attraction, constructed by restraint, observation, and deliberate self-mastery. And it is a lesson most men never learn, because they seek external validation rather than internal command. Now picture a subtle test. She moves closer, shifts in tone, drops a hint. Most men would leap, respond, overreach. You do not. You remain grounded, allowing the interaction to unfold organically. Every second of composure is a lesson in invisibility, influence without overt assertion, authority without demand, desire cultivated through perception alone. By the time the moment resolves, she has unknowingly passed your test, not because she was told, but because her instincts recognized mastery when they encountered it. And here lies the critical truth. Mastery of self is the true medium of influence. Words, gestures, and charm are secondary. The rare man who embodies presence commands perception. He is the silent strategist, moving not through force, but through inevitability. Women respond instinctively, drawn to patterns of control and consistency. Men who react or chase, who allow chaos to define behavior, remain unseen, unheard, unnoticed. Buckle up. What you are witnessing is more than interaction. It is a demonstration of invisible law, a behavioral truth few men comprehend, and even fewer execute with precision. In the next segment, we will step further into these unspoken dynamics, exploring how layered perception, temporal tension, and instinctive testing converge to reveal the deepest psychological principles that govern attraction, respect, and authority. This is the moment no one prepares you for, the point where your silence stops acting like a reaction and starts functioning like a mirror. She doesn't simply notice your absence. She begins to see her own behavior reflected inside it. The second your energy no longer revolves around her, her mind starts replaying every interaction you shared. It isn't weakness or insecurity. It's the natural instinct to pursue what once felt steady when that steadiness suddenly disappears. Your calmness becomes a psychological trigger. Your composed presence turns into a question she can't escape. Your restraint becomes a door she feels compelled to open. This is where the entire dynamic quietly shifts. Not because of tactics or manipulation, but because of the powerful contrast between who you were and who you are becoming. She remembers the man who overextended himself. Now she sees a man who reveals nothing. That contrast alone reshapes her entire perception. A woman's attraction often reignites not during ease and pleasure, but during moments when she reevaluates a man's strength and intention. Reinterpretation always begins when a man stops pleading for understanding and starts living with his own standards intact. This is the psychological pivot, the point where masculine self-possession, creates a loop of curiosity, uncertainty, and renewed interest within her. Emotional uncertainty, when paired with a man's stability, becomes one of the strongest amplifiers of female attraction. It's not chaos or drama that pulls her in, but the quiet unpredictability of a man who no longer reacts the way she expects. She begins noticing details she once overlooked: your tone, your pauses, your posture. She studies your timing and your boundaries. She starts asking herself the questions you once asked about her. Why is he so calm? What shifted? What does he see that I don't? Why does his silence feel intentional? And why does that make me want to break it? In that tension, something else rises: respect. Not the polite kind people display in public, but the internal respect a woman feels when a man's steadiness outlasts her assumptions about him. This is when attraction deepens, not because you pursued it, but because you became someone who doesn't need to. This is the moment her instinct shifts from judging you to trying to understand you. It's where your discipline changes the way she perceives your value. It's where she realizes your presence was never the prize, your self-control was. A man who governs himself cannot be pushed, steered, or contained. That truth creates a quiet form of gravity. It pulls her attention even when you say nothing, and often more powerfully when you do.